Welcome back. This is a continuation of the last video. Once again, this is Mr. Jacobs. This is for Physical Science A and just a little bit about how I like to use my Moodle website. Um, I use Jing for my screen captures, my screen recordings, and unfortunately that only gives me 5 minutes, and that's why there's a series of these videos. In the future, I'm sure I'll get a new program. I'll probably have to pay money for it, but that'll give me longer than 5 minutes. But for right now, we will just deal. I'm going to go to the student role just so you can see exactly what your kids could see. I'm going to go to practice test. I already showed you guys the review sheet, the review questions, the paper practice test. Now, ever since doing the paper practice test, I put the same test, the same practice test online. I just have it in a different form so that kids can click on it and they can just go ahead and answer questions and they get graded right away. Looks like I already opened this one before and tried a couple times just to make sure it's working and not working. We'll continue from there. The data from experiment is called that would be the results. Now, kids can do it one of two different ways to check their answers. They could hit submit and that'll submit just that answer, and we can say, okay, yep, the results were correct. If it's incorrect, it'd be a red bar here, it'd say incorrect, and I believe it shows them what the correct answer is. So that's one thing that they can do, just to check the results. There's a different way to do it as well. You could go down to the bottom when you're done with everything, hit submit all and finish, and then you'll get all the answers. Now, I do want to just show you again that there is 5 multiple choice questions on the practice test, not on the real one. And then there's some fill in the blank here as well. On the real test, it's a matching, but it's very difficult to do matching through Moodle. System of measurement, where most units are divisible by 10, that would be metric system. So hopefully we can all spell it right. And then you can see if it's correct or not. Now down here it gets a little tricky. Now you can see here it gave 1 point out of 1 possible point. Down here you get a little trickier because these are all essay questions, okay? And so a student would have to go through, read it, and then type whatever they think the answer is. Now for this one, checking it is a little bit tricky. The only way to check it is to go all the way through, and once again I suggest that students take this seriously, do their best job on the practice test. That'll just give them the most accurate results as to how are they going to do on the real test and help them gauge if how much they need to study. Down here I'm going to hit submit all and finish. And I'm doing that so that you can then see my answers. Okay, so obviously we got the answer wrong. Moodle cannot grade these essay questions. So the real answer is the manipulative variable is the liquid that I put the frogs in. The responsive variable is the frog's heart rate. The control is the frogs in neutral water. You would have your answer there and you'd have to read through your answer and gauge it with mine, see if you got it correct or not. If you were about halfway correct, you would have to give yourself 1 point out of 2, because that's there were 2 points on these practice tests. If you were completely off, don't give yourself any points. If you were right on, give yourself 2 points. Okay, so you kind of have to do it a little tricky. You have to keep track of that individually. If we go to the top, I can see I got 1.9 out of maximum 10. 3.8 out of 20. It takes off a tenth each time you try one, and I must have tried the wrong one previously just to make sure it's working. But it does knock a tenth off if you do a try. 3.8 out of 20. Now, if I had done that for real and answered all the questions, that would obviously be higher. And you would also have to go back and you'd have to add in the points that you got for your essay, because Moodle will not do that. Now you have to do that manually. You can't just click on something and do that, and take your new number divided by 20, and that will give you a percentage basically. Yeah, that just shows you a little bit about that. There will be one more video, and that video is going to talk just a little bit about the videos that I like to use in my classes. I like to put on Moodle. So thanks for watching so far, and I will see you on the next one.